Hi friends, this is Miss Stacey from the Youth Services Department of the Fayetteville Public Library, and this is Preschool Story Time for ages 3 to 5. Let's sing our hello song. Hello friends, hello friends, hello friends, it's time to say hello. Let's say it in Spanish, it's hola. Hola friends, hola friends, hola friends, it's time to say hola. Now let's say it in Hawaiian by saying aloha. Aloha friends, aloha friends, aloha friends, it's time to say aloha. Today's story time is about forests. Every one of our stories is set in a forest. And if you wanted to sign tree in American Sign Language, you would put your left arm up like this and your right arm like this and shake like a tree. But if you want to say forest, then you move it back and forth. Forest. Good job, friends. Our first story today is called Babbitt and Joan, a Rabbit and a Phone. Written and illustrated by Denise Turu. Look at all the pretty colors. It all began when the phones went on strike. Look at all the phones. They're holding signs that says, "We are tired, we need rest, break time, off. We want breaks, let us sleep, too much work." Babbitt the rabbit watched from his window. He had never thought about how hard the phones work. He went to check on his own phone, Joan. She was exhausted. She'd been taking pictures and sending texts for Babbitt all day, every day. That afternoon, Babbitt tucked Joan in for a nap. "Rest well, my friend," he said. Then he took a deep breath and stepped outside, leaving Joan behind. For the first time ever, Babbitt felt alone. His neighbors were very busy and no one said hello. What should he do? Babbitt decided to go for a walk. When he reached the forest, he kept going. He'd never been so far on his own before. Soon he saw a mother snail carrying her baby on her back. He'd never seen that before. Then he found a beautiful exotic plant. He'd never seen that before either. Later, he came across ants carrying leaves 10 times their size. There were so many surprises in the forest. Babbitt walked and walked and looked, and then he realized he was lost. Without Joan, how would he find his way back? Babbitt tried to remember which way he had come. Just as he was getting really worried, he heard a chirpy melody. It was a little blue bird. "I was headed to the city to give a concert at the Eagle Square," he said, "but now I'm lost and my phone is out of batteries." His name was Ed. A moment later, Babbitt and Ed heard a growling sound from behind the trees. Grrr, grrr. It was a big brown bear. "I was going to visit my brother in the city, but now I can't find my way," she cried. "I lost my phone when I went swimming in the river." Her name was Mare. "Let's stay together," said Babbitt. The three friends walked on and on in search of a way back to the city. The colors of the forest began to change as the sun began to set. It's very pretty. As it grew dark, they found a place to sleep. There they told stories and laughed together around the bonfire. Long into the night, Babbitt lay awake and gazed up at the sky. He had never seen the moon and stars shine so brightly before. The next morning, the friends continued their journey, ready to see new things and find their way home. They were amazed when they found a grove of tropical palm trees. Up in the treetops, the toucan family, so colorful and noisy, was even more amazing. Ed flew higher and chirped his loudest. "Which way to the city, friends?" That way, the toucans called. Babbitt, Ed, and Mare walked until they reached the river, where they found an old wooden boat and a clue. See the clue? It's an arrow pointing that way, and it says, the city. Mare was the strongest, so she rowed. Ed had a beautiful voice, so he sang. And Babbitt, whose eyesight was the best, guided them on their way. As the sun rose higher, they saw the city ahead. "What an adventure," said Babbitt. "Goodbye for now," Mare said. Ed hummed a farewell tune to his new friends. They all promised to meet again soon. His neighborhood looked the same, but Babbitt felt different. No one had noticed he had gone, and no one noticed he was back. But Joan did. Babbitt was happy to see that she was feeling better. He told her about his new friends and all that he had discovered. They made a deal. Joan would take more breaks to recharge her batteries, and sometimes Babbitt would go out on his own to explore the world. That night, Babbitt tucked Joan into her own little bed. Then they slept peacefully, getting ready for a new day. The end. And now we're going to sing a song using our craft for today. This craft is actually a forest. You see? But we're going to fold it up and we're going to sing about one tree. This song is the same tune as head, shoulders, knees, and toes, but we're going to sing it about a tree. So it's going to go roots, trunks, branches, leaves, okay? Here we go. Roots, trunks, branches, leaves, roots, trunks, branches, leaves, buds and fruits and flowers in the breeze. Roots, trunks, branches, leaves. Those are the parts of a tree. Let's sing it one more time. Roots, trunks, branches, leaves. Roots, trunks, branches, leaves. Buds and fruit and flowers in the breeze. Roots, trunk, branches, leaves. Good job, friends. Our second story today is Paco and the Drum by Matthew Forsyth. The biggest mistake Paco's parents ever made was giving her a drum. They had made mistakes before. Like the slingshot. And the llama. What a mess. And the balloon. Oh, Paco. But the drum was the biggest mistake. "We shouldn't have given her that drum," said her father. "What?" said her mother. "The drum is too loud. I can't hear you." "The drum was a big mistake," said her father. "That sounds like a wonderful idea," said her mother, who still couldn't hear what he was saying. The next day, her father said, "Paco, why don't you take your drum outside for a little while? But don't make too much noise. We're just a little frog family that lives in a mushroom, and we don't like drawing attention to ourselves." Paco agreed, and she set out as quietly as she could. It had just rained and the forest was sparkling like an emerald. Doesn't that sound beautiful? And it was very quiet. Too quiet. Paco looks suspicious. Paco started tapping on her drum just to keep herself busy, but something stirred behind her. A raccoon playing a banjo started following her, so Paco hit her drum louder. And then a rabbit playing a trumpet started following them, but Paco kept playing her drum. And then a wolf, who couldn't really play anything but was very happy to be near the music, joined in, and Paco still played her drum. But then the wolf ate the rabbit. And Paco stopped playing her drum and faced the wolf and said, "No more eating band members, or you're out of the band." Paco is very brave. "I'm sorry," said the wolf, and he meant it. And then they all started playing again, and soon there was a crowd of animals playing instruments. And a crowd of animals following them around, enjoying the music. And they were all following Paco. "Paco, your dinner is ready," shouted her father. No one answered, but he could hear music in the distance. And the music grew louder. And louder. Until the crowd swept through the house and carried Paco's parents off into the woods. "Oh no," said her father. "Oh dear," said her mother. "I think that's Paco down in front," said her father. "And you know what?" "What?" said her mother, who was just getting to the best part of her book. "I think she's pretty good." And no one could hear what he was saying, but if they could, they all would have agreed. The end. Let's sing another song. The trees are growing tall, the trees are growing tall, with soil and rain and sunny days, the trees are growing tall. The trees are growing roots, the trees are growing roots, with soil and rain and sunny days, the trees are growing roots. The trees are growing leaves, the trees are growing leaves, with soil and rain and sunny days, the trees are growing leaves. Good job, friends. Our last book today is called Surprise by Caroline Hadalexano. You see the forest? Bear, raccoon, and squirrel had been friends for a really long time. "I'm bored," said Squirrel. "I wish there was something more exciting to do," said Raccoon. "I wish we had new friends to play with," said Bear. But making new friends isn't always easy. They waited a long time for the right friend to wander into their neck of the woods. One day, their wait was finally over. They'd heard of city folks, but they'd never seen any until now. Eagerly, they hatched a plot to convince the city folks to stay. "We need to do something splendid," said Bear. "How about a welcome party?" said Raccoon. "Yeah, a surprise welcome party," said Squirrel. "We will have the most splendid food," said Raccoon. "And the most splendid entertainment," said Squirrel. "And the most splendid decorations," said Bear. They're sure making a mess out of things. They were almost ready. Something is missing. I will be right back," said Bear. It wasn't long until Raccoon and Squirrel heard footsteps, but it wasn't Bear who returned. "A squirrel! A raccoon!" Surprise! "I made you the most splendid snacks," said Raccoon, but they hear kick, kick, kick. "I practiced my most splendid act," said Squirrel. "Choop, choop, choop," is what they hear. "Bear!" The surprise went just as they'd hoped. Their guests were perfectly shocked. Ah! Finally, Bear returned with party hats for everyone. But the guests were in a hurry to leave. "Bear! Run!" Choop, choop, choop. That's what they sound like, but what they're really saying is, "Don't leave, we have the most splendid food," said Raccoon. "We have the most splendid entertainment," said Squirrel. "You forgot your party hat," said Bear. The family is like fleeing. They didn't know why the city folks left so soon, but Bear, Squirrel, and Raccoon had a splendid time together. Just the three of them. And there they go, back to the city. The end. And our craft for today is to make a forest. Here's how you can make your own forest. Use various colored paper, a glue stick, pencil, Sharpie, and scissors. Cut your brown sheet of paper about 2/3 of the way up the sheet. Fold accordion style into a W. Use a pencil to draw your trunk outline and then cut along those lines. Use the other colors to make the leaves for your trees by cutting them into small circles. Glue those behind the trunks of the trees. Use your Sharpie to draw little lines to indicate branches. Tear your scrap paper into little pieces for leaves and glue them along the ground below the trees. Thanks for joining me for story time today, friends. Let's sing our goodbye song. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. It's time to say goodbye. Now let's say it in Spanish, which is adios. Adios, friends. Adios, friends. Adios, friends. It's time to say adios. And now in Hawaiian, goodbye is the same as hello. Aloha. Aloha, friends. Aloha, friends. Aloha, friends. It's time to say adios. We'll see you next time.